H2K Infosys provides world-class online IT training, staffing and software testing solutions to customers worldwide. H2K Infosys supports 100% job-oriented training, hands-on project work, cloud test lab, resume preparation and review, mock interviews, robust syllabus. One-time pay, lifetime access to live classes and videos. H2K Infosys has won the trust of thousands of students worldwide. For free demo class, visit h2kinfosys.com.
Okay, so today we'll see some of the theory concepts. Today we'll be learning about what is database application and all the concepts present in module 1 of the course content document which we sent you. Let's get started. So I'm going to open the PPT today and we'll see slides one by one. Although we discussed a lot of things in the previous classes, we will be learning in a systematic way from now. So let's try to understand the module 1 concepts which we have in the course. So what is database application? So a database application is a computer program whose primary purpose is entering and retrieving information from a computerized database. So any application which involves, so this is a definition which I have taken from Wiki, database application Wikipedia. It says like a database application is a computer program whose primary purpose is entering and retrieving information from a database. So can you guys tell me, one of you bring me the examples of database applications. So here we have something called database applications for accounting systems or airline reservation systems. So any other examples? Everyone has to bring two examples for database applications. So two examples which they think are database applications. So you can just ping me in the chat window what are database applications. I see a few responses from some of you. I see from Sangeeta it's ATM. Yeah, ATM is also a good example where you take the money and from the database the balance will be reduced. And I see from Kavita ERP system, enterprise resource planning system. Yes, and from Aruna insurance and banking applications. Yes, they also have database. And I see from Chandra airline systems where you book the tickets and all. Yeah, all of you are perfectly right. So any examples of which you use in your day-to-day life? Any example? Every day you will be using it. Even you would have configured in your mobile as well. You will communicate with your friends. Yeah, it is Google or what I mean is Gmail. So even mail systems like Gmail, Yahoo Mail, all those things uses database. So the moment you get a mail, a new record will be inserted, and the moment you delete a mail, a record will be deleted. And one more classic example is Facebook. Yeah, Facebook is also. So nowadays, needless to mention, any application, all the applications are using database. Okay, so a database application is a computer program whose primary purpose is entering and retrieving information from a computerized system. Okay, so we saw some more examples as well. Now we'll go to the next slide. So testing application versus testing database management system. So from now on, DBMS is called, DBMS stands for database management system. So normally a manual tester or a QA will be performing testing using front end. So that is called testing application or front end testing. So where you will have a very good user interface, and we'll also have different screens for insert, update, delete. So in one screen you will insert the data, and in other screen you will verify for update or delete functionality. So you don't need to understand anything about testing from backend. So normally this is the typical testing where if you have very good application with all the screens for testing insert, update or delete. But in reality you might not have all the screens for testing. Sometimes you might not have completed delete or update the screens, but you have to verify whether the data is getting inserted or not. So that is called backend testing. So imagine your application has 3 screens, and you are working on agile mode or scrum mode. So agile or scrum is something like you work on sprints. Every sprint will have 14 days, and you will start working on some module. As soon as that module is done, you have to test it. Now, when the developers are done with the screen where you have insert functionality, so you cannot tell like I have not completed update or delete functionality, so you cannot test it. So that's not correct. So even if insert functionality is done, you should be able to test it from the backend. So that is what we call as backend testing or testing DBMS, where using UI you will insert the records, and using queries you will verify whether the records are inserted or not from the backend. So as a tester, as a database tester, you should be really good in doing both the testing, that is testing application or front-end testing, or testing DBMS or backend testing. Okay, so is it clear what do you mean by front-end testing and backend testing? So is it clear? Today we will not be writing any queries, it will be completely theory, so please bear with me today. Completely theory we are going to do now. We are not going to write any queries, joins or anything today. Okay, so now that is about front-end testing and back-end testing. Now let's go to the next slide. What is QAing data? So QA stands for quality analyst or quality assurance or whatever. Nowadays people are calling as QE. So previously the term QA is very famous, but QA is not only limited for maybe down the line, I mean previously 5 years back or 4 years back. QA is completely like QA will tell I don't care about how the functionality is implemented, or QA doesn't care about how the queries are written or how the development is implemented. But now the complete as software engineering is demanding in nature, slowly QA term has become QE. So nowadays even in our teams, like they are called as QE, quality engineer. Okay, or in development companies like Microsoft or something, they are called SDET, software development engineer in test. So they are calling software development engineer in testing. So that itself will tell that testers also need to know a little bit about development. Okay, yeah, so even if you join a company, you will really understand that there will be a lot of expectations from you. You should not tell like I'm a tester, I'll only check the functionality from the UI. No, you are supposed to know a lot of things more than testing from user interface. Okay, so QAing data is about ensuring that the data operations are happening as per the required functionality. So that's all about that's the general definition of what is QAing data. It's all about ensuring the data operations are happening as per the required functionality. So QA should be good in writing queries for insert, update, delete, most select queries. So which can be writing joins to retrieve data from multiple tables. We also saw an example of how to write joins to retrieve data from three tables as well. So when you get time, try to reference them. So this you should be really good in insert, update and delete, and as well as select queries, writing select queries. Okay, now go to the next slide. Who is responsible? So developers are responsible for providing complete functionality. So you, as a tester, you need not worry about writing code for you. So even though we learned about writing stored procedures, writing joins, writing queries, you should not be you need not worry about writing any functionality. Developers will do it. But the only responsibility for QA is to ensure that the functionality is working fine or not. QA testing is project critical. So in any project, even if developers does some mistakes and functionality is not working properly, it is the sole responsibility of QA whether to sign off the project or not. In case if the QA feels that there are a lot of defects in the project, he can cancel the release, or he's having all the rights to postpone the release or whatever. So QA testing is project critical. So in case if testing is not done properly and defect code went to production and customer sees some defects, customer dissatisfaction, thereby revenues will go down. So in any project, QA is very critical. No one will say that developers are very important. QAs are very important than developers. Okay, so QAs are the ones who knows the functionality end to end, who should know the functionality end to end, and who should test for all the possible scenarios which ends in customer satisfaction. Okay, so now Even I'll show you a slide which I have taken, which I have prepared for taking a demo class. You might not have attended. Anyone attended my demo class which happened in this week? Anyone who is present in this class? I think anyone attended the demo class? Okay, how about others? I have taken a demo class to show the importance of see now, I'll show you a simple, this is the demo which I have taken for, I'll show you one simple screen. If you see here, I have taken some examples from dice.com. I think all of you might be knowing. I'll not be sending these PPTs for you. These PPTs are only you can go through from the recording. Okay. So these PPTs are confidential, so I'm not going to share this with anyone. But I can check with the team. Maybe I can provide if they permit. Okay. So if you see here the PPT which I have taken for demo class, you can see the importance of although the job says like it's a QA engineer. Okay, so the first and foremost point which they have mentioned here is familiarity with database concepts and SQL. So that shows the importance of SQL for a QA engineer. Okay, so most of I just referred few jobs. I just searched for QA in dice.com. Almost 50 to 60% of the jobs are demanding for SQL. See, this is one example, and this is another example. So where we have something called QA tester. So they're asking for SQL experience. So even I whatever I searched for software engineer QA. So in brackets they have QA. Even the first point which they mentioned is strong knowledge of SQL and database concepts. So this itself will show that if you are a QA engineer, you should be really good in all the concepts whatever we learned so far. So please focus on writing queries. You should never tell like I'm a tester, I don't care about writing queries, I don't care about what is a stored procedure and all. Please focus on the concepts. Please go through the recordings so far, whatever we learned. Even though we purposefully included all the concepts of development in this course, which will help you to showcase your skills in interviews. Okay, so whenever you find time, today or tomorrow, Sunday, please complete all the recordings which we have, which you have in H2K Infosys website, so that we can confidently face the interviews. Okay. Even in India, like QS, whoever attends, like the companies are demanding for SQL Server experience, writing queries or what are constraints, all those things. Okay, so with that, anyway, okay, so let's go to our slides. Okay, so this is about the responsibility of QA to ensure that the functionality is working fine or not. And okay, let's understand what is the knowledge required for database tester. So database tester, the first and foremost thing is he should know the complete business functionality. He should be in touch with business analyst. He should understand exactly what the functionality of different screens or whatever. So complete business functionality should be known to a tester. Otherwise it's extremely difficult to test the functionality. So testers should know complete functionality, and they should know even though a database tester, he also should know how to do manual testing from user interface, and also testing from backend using queries or joins. So once the insert functionality has done from the UI, he should write the queries to verify the functionality using queries or joins. So writing queries to generate mock data. Sometimes what happens is you might not have screens for insert functionality, but you might have screens for update or delete functionality. So in that case, you have to write some mock data to insert the data, queries to insert the data. That is called generating test data. Okay, it really happens. It also happens. See now, let me open MS Paint. So you don't have a screen for inserting records. So, but you have screens where you normally update or delete records. So you have screens for updating or deleting records. Okay, So, but you cannot say that I don't have insert screen for inserting record. Sorry, this is record. So let me. Okay. So for inserting records, you don't have a screen, but for updating and deleting records, you have screen. So if you get a functionality for testing it, you should not complain that I don't have data in the table. How can I test it? Previously, testers used to leave it to developers. Please insert the data so that I can test it. But nowadays, no, it's completely testers'